Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the Overcast. I am your host, Justin, aka Oversoul, and I am joined by just one co host today, Kevin Butler. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Brooksy.
What's up?
Do you know who Kevin Butler was? Do you remember?
Not a clue. Not even
Oh,
in the
you.
slightest bit.
Oh, he was that guy that was in all the PlayStation commercials for PS3, like PS3 games back in the day. He was like their main campaign guy.
What a deep cut, dude. Like what?
No, he was, and he wasn't a real guy either, Kevin Butler, right? He wasn't real. He was just a character being played by an actor. I forget the actor's name,
Ah,
but the reason that they cut him, I think it was back in 2012, I want to say, was
uh-huh.
he ended up doing a commercial as Kevin Butler for another company, and there happened to be a Nintendo Wii in the background, like coincidentally, like it wasn't part of it wasn't like a Nintendo commercial, just happened to be one there, and since there was a
Hmm.
competitor's product in the commercial, um, I think basically Sony sued him and then fired him, like is what
Oh,
happened. Yeah,
okay. All right.
yeah, it was absolutely wild. But no, Kevin Butler, look him up sometime. He did all of the Kevin Butler era is considered the golden era of PlayStation. Like that was when PS3 was at its peak. Like we were
Okay.
getting that's when we were getting the Uncharted's and the God of War 3s and the shit like that. And he
Hmm.
had the most unhinged, hilarious commercials. So, um, but anyways, yeah, that is a deep cut, almost as deep as PlayStation's short-lived reality show, The Tester. Uh,
I didn't even know that was a thing that existed.
it's funny because Nick does, and even funnier, fucking Ego Raptor was on that show in season 3. And here's an even deeper cut. One of the contestants on that show, Asuka,
Hmm.
was her name. Her real name is Nicole. I'm actually friends with her on social media, and Nick and I have met her in real life. We coming back from what was it? What's that big rock festival up in Wisconsin every year? Summer Fest something. Uh,
I was like, I know, like, yeah, like Summer or Rockville or whatever. I have no
I
idea.
don't know. It's like it's the Summerfest something. I forgot what. I think it's just called Summerfest, maybe. But
Yeah.
there was this point when PS4 had just come out and PlayStation was touring across the country doing these setting up these trucks and trailers with demos that you could play, and one of them happened to be at that Summerfest, so we went there mainly for that.
Yeah.
But we got to like play early demos of like Infamous Second Son and shit like that before they came out, which was
Oh,
nice.
that's cool.
Yeah, so then we got a little bit of PlayStation merch and all that. We went there with actually our friend Harry, who goes by Harry94 on PlayStation, who has actually written several well used trophy guides for different games. So
Cool.
if you ever use a trophy guide for a game by Harry94, that's our
Hmm.
guy. We went with him
Ah, cool.
out there, and we used to go to those when PlayStation used to live stream their E3 showings at select movie theaters, and we went to several of those, couple of them with him. So, and that's kind of how all that came about. But eventually, all that led to us meeting. All that is to say, all of that eventually led to us meeting Asuka in real life, or Nicole. She told us about this really cool dairy place on the way back, so we stopped there for burgers and ice cream, and met and talked to her. And she had some really interesting things to say about how those reality shows actually work behind the scenes, and it's funny because what she said actually lines up a lot with what Ego Raptor has said on Game Grumps Let's Plays about it as well, like when he's talked about his experience. And it's
Mm.
needless to say, let's just say reality shows use the term reality very loosely.
Oh, I've no doubt in that.
There is definitely a lot of pressure to act a certain way, to characterize people in specific ways. That being said, though, people who actually won that show, the tester, actually went on to be legit video game testers for PlayStation, and one of them is the now well-known Will Powers. I believe.
Cool.
Yeah, I think he was the winner of season 1. So, but he's like obviously way more than just a tester now. Like he moved up in the ranks. Um so yeah, but that was yeah, we it's not like I've ever been to E3 or anything, but I've been to a couple of cool little things and I've met a couple of people,
Yeah.
like I guess what you could call minor internet celebrities. You know. Um but that's, I don't know where all that. Oh yeah, Kevin Butler. Right, that's where that started.
Yeah. You're fine, dude.
Anyways, anyways, though, all of that tangent is to say this episode will have nothing to do with any of that. It's just me and Brooksy today, and we're just having we're just gonna have a normal chat, a little shoot the shit about what we've been up to and all that. It's gonna be that way twice this month because see, Nick is at a monster truck show with his daughter tonight, which he'll be talking about next time he's around. But that episode will be just me and him. It won't have Brooksy because he'll be preoccupied with something else at the time as well.
Yeah. I'll be I will be in the state of Mississippi, going and visiting my dad for a weekend. We're going to some like music and arts festival. Main reason why we're going is he just built a house out in Oxford, Mississippi. He's super proud of it and just wants Sam and I to come and hang out with him for the weekend and see the new house. So I'll be I'll be in the deep south. The deep south for a weekend in 2 weeks.
Ding 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 ding.
Man, here's the thing. Like, listen, I love my dad a whole lot. I love my dad so much. I enjoy a good college football game, so going and seeing Ole Miss play is a lot of fun for me personally. Um, they got something called chicken on a stick, and that shit rips. And it is literally as straightforward as it sounds. It is fried chicken, and it is on a stick. And I don't know what they do to the marinade or to the batter or whatever it is, but it is some of the best fried chicken I've ever had. And when you spent an entire day drinking incessantly and watching a football game and you guys win and you drink even more, you wake up the next day feeling like just absolute shit. Nothing hits more than an ice cold energy drink and a chicken on a stick while sitting on the curb in front of the gas station. You just got that chicken on a stick. And it's like a weird, like, very local thing. Like, it's a trademark thing. It's called chicken on a stick. And it's at like 4 different gas stations in Oxford, Mississippi. And that's the only place you can get it. But it is good. It is so good. Yeah. I'm excited for Dad and chicken on a stick. And that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of it.
But after that, after we chit chat about what we've been up to lately, we're gonna do. Brooksy had this great idea to do like a tournament style bracket, and I'll let him explain it more when we get there. But basically, we're gonna be sitting here and debating about which of these games are the best RPGs of the current generation, as in 2020 and onward. So the last 5.5 years worth of
Yeah.
RPGs. Um, so if anything's missing when we get there, and you're like, "Wait, why didn't you include this?" It's because it wasn't. It's because it's not. It didn't come out before then, before 2020.
Yeah.
Or it was just
Either
a
that,
remaster.
either that, a remaster, or something that neither of us have played anything of it, or
Yeah.
it just didn't make the cut, and we apparently very specifically, pointedly hate you. Like, it's just
Yeah. Yep.
It's 32 slots. Your game may have been number 33, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's being facetious, but there are people out there who will take it that way. I'm sure. Anyways, though, I've yammered enough. Let's hear from you for a bit. What have you been up to lately?
Oh man, just work. It's just been so much work.
I feel that.
It's yeah, like I mean I'm at the end of the day I make my own schedule. Like, the way that my bosses portrayed it to me is work if you work, don't if you don't, but you need to bill X amount and rent's due on the first. So just do what you need to do. Um, and like, I mean, he's not wrong. But because I've been so busy and I've gotten several new clients and they've been really ramping up on hiring, it's made me incredibly busy, which is a really good problem to have in staffing and recruiting as an external recruiter. It's a really good problem to have. I'm at a point now where I essentially have to bill X amount and per month and average that throughout the entire year to essentially pay for my seat for the year. And I am so thrilled to say that we're recording this, April 11th. And as of 4 days ago, I have officially paid for my seat for the entire year. It's been such an incredible year for me, and I'm still going, which is awesome. I'll actually be able to get Sam and I out of debt, which is something that I never thought would like really actually happen. Like full debt, like tuition, every like debt free.
Nice.
And that's it's something I genuinely never thought I'd get to this point. And it's really cool and really exciting. Um, on the on a bit I'm going to do a little bit of sad news, and then I'm going to go into some more exciting news, just like sandwich it,
Okay.
um, so my sad news, yeah, I know I've talked at great lengths about the two used to be formerly three lovable pups that Sam and I have. Turbo we lost last year, and then we have Fitz and Newbie. Fitz being the lab pit mix, and Newbie being our little pug. And Newbie, he as a pug, just in general, have a lot of health problems, and Newbie has extra health problems. He's had a heart murmur since he was a little puppy. He has a collapsed trachea. Like he's got all this other shit, and he's getting up there in age. He's 8, and anytime he ever gets like really, really, really excited and like runs really fast or is like passed out and he hears something and wakes up and just starts screaming, he'll actually have like a full faint spell. Like he'll just pass out for like 20 to 30 seconds and slowly comes back to. And this is something that's been going on since he was like 2 years old. The very first time it ever happened was while we were still living in Texas, and he was standing at the edge of the pool and fell into the pool. And both Sam and I, full clothes on, phones in our pockets, dove in to save our little pug. And it's been
Yeah.
happening for the past, sorry Nick, you're not here, 6 7 years.
God damn it.
Um,
Mm.
I can't wait for him to watch this episode. Hi, buddy. But
You and I both
it's
know he's gonna listen to the audio version like always.
I know. Yeah. For those that are listening on Spotify, this is the first time that we're actually recording this, and you can actually see our face on YouTube. Hi.
Yeah, so if you're on YouTube for this one, this is a video version this time. For the purpose of Brooksy's bracket, we we need the screen for that anyways. So I figured why not make this a trial run for the video version, and then I'll record a video version with Nick in the next episode when it's our one-on-one. And then we
Mhm.
might go back to audio only for a while while we get it figured out exact, but like this will be good. This is practice. So
Yeah. But anyways, back to newbie.
yeah.
His passing out has become a little bit more frequent, and he hasn't done like a full checkup in a little while. So took him to the vet, and we're like, hey, we want to like really check out what's going on with his heart. Like, we know he has a murmur. We want to see if it's gotten any worse. Love to see if there's anything related to that faint spell thing, because we've told vets about this for years, and every time they're like, oh, that's weird. And it's like, that's not a great medical diagnosis, but okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
that's
so
wow.
yeah, so they recommended, we did like the full, blood work and urinalysis. I cleaned up some of his poop and put a little vial to bring to him, so he doesn't have worms. That's cool. Um, And they highly recommended doing an EKG, echo screening. And so we did that, and they called us the next day, and it turns out he has something called pulmonary stenosis. And it is a congenital, which basically means it's something he's had his entire life, where part of his heart is much more enlarged than it should be, while at the same time, the vessels or the valves inside are a lot more constricted than they're supposed to be. And that's the number one symptom is faint spells. And this is also apparently the third most common heart problem that a dog can have, which I'm not going to lie, I am viscerally angry at every single vet that I've seen over the past 6 to 7 years that nobody ever made that connection. Like I'm not the medical professional you are. We pay an exorbitant amount of money, and like it took
Yeah,
us
I was gonna ask,
this long.
are you going to Dr. Hartman from Family Guy? Like they sound so
Yeah, like
incompetent, you know.
no, it's just
Your
dude,
your
that's
husband's
just
in what appears to be a comma.
well, that I mean, that's why, like, on top of just how expensive health is, that's why people like Luigi Mangione like exist. It's why people like him exist. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm also like Luigi. Let's go. So, um, I was
It's a
angry
Luigi
and
time.
really like, and so we talked about like options, and essentially the only real fix is surgery. And it's where they essentially like cut a little hole in his chest. They put a balloon into that valve and they blow up that balloon so it has more airflow. But it's a $5,000 to $10,000 surgery. And newbies, he's 8. It is financially, it's irresponsible to spend almost 10 grand on a dog whose average life expectancy for pugs is like 9 to 10 years old already. And so that's what makes me angry is that this could have been done well in advance. It could have been done pre-COVID while I was in Texas for a lot cheaper if I had a competent vet. Um, and so it's been really frustrating. So we have an appointment on Monday with a cardiologist to not talk about the surgery because it's just nothing that I just said that we're trying to get ourselves out of debt for the first time. I can't rack $10,000. I can't. Um, so we're going to talk about, what lifespan kind of looks like from here, best tips and tricks to do for quality of life, and just try to give him the best, however long we have with him for. So that's my sad news. Yeah, like I'm very sorry. I had a lot of sad news last year. I hadn't this year, so here's my first one.
I swear
Um,
to God, you've been having dog problems ever since you joined the show. I'm beginning to wonder if
I
it's our
mean,
fault. Like,
no, it's not y'all's fault. It's really just it's really just we have old dogs, man. Like Turbo was 14 when he passed, and Fitz is 13 right now, and Newbie's 8, about to become 9. But that's pretty old for a pug. So it's just really shitty timing.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you want to take the fall, you can.
No, no, I'm good on that. I'm just saying, it's a self-deprecation joke. The show is cursed.
Yeah, no, fair, fair. But on lighter news, I know everybody has heard me talk a fair amount about me being in PC Master Race, which I'm not gonna lie has been really, really sick. I did move over to Linux recently. I talked about it on our last podcast. And I moved to Linux, and I've come to realize that Linux and NVIDIA are not friends at all whatsoever, and their GPUs do not run very well on Linux. And I tried Bazite. I'm now on Pop OS, and it was better on Pop OS. But I mean, I never had a game crash on Windows, but I do incessantly, and I know it's not because of Linux. Linux specifically. It's because Windows and NVIDIA have like specifically worked a lot to have things better optimized, but I don't want the micro slop. I don't want AI everywhere. Like I don't. I'm not interested in that. So I ended up actually selling my NVIDIA GeForce 5070 GPU. I got a really good rate for it compared to like what it's currently selling brand new because I'd only used it for a few months and probably like a couple hundred hours at most. And I am now on Team AMD. And I was able to move to the absolute top of the line best GPU that you can get from them, which is their 9070 XT. I got the Sapphire, which is like a nicer version of it. Shout out to Olivia for the recommendation and also kind of helping me walk through how to install a GPU because it was on a different pin bracket. It was like all this other nonsense, and I'm starting to really learn more about my computer. But man, it rips. It's so good. It literally fixed all of my problems with gaming immediately. I booted up Steam and I was like, I'm gonna pick like a demanding game. So I chose Final Fantasy 16, which is notoriously known to be pretty demanding on computers. And with FSR 3 balanced on it, I got 160 frames on ultra settings across the board. Very stable. Like it would only dip down like maybe 2 or 3 frames, not like 40 frames that I would get on my old NVIDIA GPU. It's super cool. It's super cool. And I will say for those that are listening that everybody heard me gripe and complain a lot about Crimson Desert, and I said that I would try the game again when it did not have any generative AI in it, but I wanted to make sure I did not give Pearl Abyss a single cent.
To be clear, I mean, I having recently edited the last episode and put it out.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I put timestamps on all the episodes now, and
Yeah.
when you look on Spotify at the timestamps, they come up as chapters, and each one
Uh-huh.
it tells you exactly how long that chapter is.
Uh-huh.
You talked about Crimson Desert for 17 minutes in the
I was
final
mad.
episode. No, here's the
I was
thing
mad.
though. Listening back to it, most of what you said was actually praise. It wasn't until the last 5 minutes or so that we got into the AI
Yeah.
shit, you know? So you saved all your rage for the end, but up until then, you basically kissed that game's ass for 15 minutes
I did.
and then for the last few minutes you were like, all that is to say though, you shouldn't buy it because of AI. Which was like
Yeah.
perfect. I fucking love the juxtaposition switcheroo on that. And you're right though, but like still,
Dude,
how
yeah.
did you word it? It's the best worst game I've ever played. Like,
Yeah, it's the best worst game I've ever played, and I still stand by that. But
it
since
was
then,
great.
I did end up actually finding a physical copy for the PS5, so I started playing a little bit on there because again, they removed the generative AI, and I didn't have
Yeah.
to give Pearl Abyss money. But the real ass kicker out of all of it is that when I bought this GPU, it came with a free copy of Crimson Desert for Steam. And I was like, all of this workaround, all of this fighting with Steam to get my money back and feeling like I won. And they're like, oh, here's a free copy. I'm like, I mean, you know what? I said I wasn't going to give Pearl Abyss money. I technically gave Newegg and AMD money. So, okay. So
It's
I have
almost
to do some,
it's like the universe is giving you a sign. It's saying
yeah,
it's saying it wants you
play,
to play
play,
this game.
play your little game, buddy. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that's
Honestly, I would
been
look at it as the universe kind of threw you a loophole, kind of gave you a
yeah.
olive branch or something,
It
so
really
to speak.
did. Like it was like, you know what? You work so hard to get away from all the evil. You're getting away from the micro slop. You're getting away from Nvidia and their AI DLS5 garbage, whatever. Here's a little trinket. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Like it's, I don't know, man. It just like what a wild turn of events. Like I told Sam, she like belly over laughing hysterically, been like, what a funny world, man.
Yeah. Didn't you see a movie in theaters recently?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to keep things not too terribly long, but if you
Ah,
want
it's
me to
fine.
talk, You want me to talk about
I
it?
do
Yeah,
want to hear
man.
about this. I do want to hear about this because it's.
Yeah.
I want you to say on record that you actually enjoyed something sci-fi. Like,
Okay, you're just not gonna let me get away with that. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so I went and saw I went and saw Project Hail Mary, and I will say I love Ryan Gosling, so that was like kind of like the selling point for me.
he is the consistently funniest SNL host by a
I
large
love him.
margin.
Like, oh god, he's so handsome. But no, but no. I Sam really wanted to see this because she read Andy Weir's book, Project Hail Mary. And she is not a sci-fi reader, and not the craziest fan. Like, she doesn't have as much disdain towards sci-fi as I do. Um, but she really wanted to go see it, so we went and saw it a couple nights ago, and dude, it was the best sci-fi movie I've ever seen. Um, like hands down.
I've heard nothing but
It
good things about it, so
it was so well done. It had an immense amount of humor in it. Like, it was a movie that I found myself vocally belly laughing several times throughout the movie. Not just like in like one specific bit, but like kind of from the beginning to almost the very end. It was hilarious. It genuinely like, and like witty humor, no less. Um, it what is considered a spoiler from the book, but not a spoiler for the movie because they showed him in the trailers. Um, Rocky's like one of the most awesome extraterrestrial characters I have ever seen in any movie. I thought it was really well told. I thought the pacing was surprisingly really good. I wish there was a little bit more detail into like the math and science behind how the problem that they're dealing with in this movie came to be and how they were able to really fix it. It was a lot of like movie magic, like ha 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 science. And some of it made sense, but for some of it felt like slightly of a far stretch, and I just wish they kind of like went deeper on that. And from talking with Sam, they do go very deep on that aspect from the book perspective. But naturally, it's hard to take a 400-page book and turn it into a 2.5 hour long movie. So I actually plan on reading it. I thought that, and I want to say that one more time. I plan on reading it. And everybody that has ever listened to me ever talk about anything sci-fi related on here knows that I have always been the number one sci-fi hater on the planet. Like, I have always just thought it was dumb and stupid and space is lame and it's just a bunch of nothing and you're always just on a ship and like it's just like the same trope over and over and over again. Especially if you look at like Star Wars, it's always the adult and the child, the adult and the child, the fucking Mandalorian and Grogu, and even Ryan Gosling's new thing where he's got a little kid and Anakin. Like it's all the same crap, and it's very redundant. This felt fresh and this felt very different to me, and it made me kind of interested in space. I'm not even kidding. Like, it made me legitimately leave being like, maybe I should try and give Mass Effect another try. Maybe I should look a little into Starfield. Like, because I like Bethesda. Like, it gave me a newfound
hey,
appreciation for
and Mass
sci-fi
Effect is
that.
just Dragon Age in space, really.
Yeah, and so like it gave me a newfound appreciation for sci-fi as someone who is genuinely not cared for sci-fi for practically my entire life. I honestly, like, if I was to, I know we're not really doing reviews in this episode, but like if I was going to give it a
This
score,
counts. It counts.
9.5, man. It was a
Okay.
9.5 for me, and I very rarely ever give anything above a 9. I can't wait to see this movie again. I can't wait to own it physically. I can't wait to own this. I want to own a sci-fi movie
That says
physically.
a lot. It set a very high bar for sci-fi for you, though. I don't think I can come up with anything that would match it, to be honest. But I'm glad that
Like,
it sparked your interest a little bit. It
oh
was
yeah,
actually,
but yeah,
but yeah. As far as what I've been up to, that's pretty much going to be our only media corner entry because I haven't really done much of anything new lately. Well, that's not entirely true, but I haven't started anything that I can actually fully review yet. The newest thing I've been keeping up with is season 4 of Invincible, which is
Ooh,
in
how is
my
it?
really really good. It is
Okay.
the stakes have never been higher, quite frankly, in
I
in the show.
haven't picked I personally have not picked up since the mid season break from season three. I
Mm.
keep meaning to, but it's like one of those like
Oh.
I'll get to it eventually. Um,
I put it to you this way, in my opinion, and some people will probably disagree, but in my personal opinion, Invincible is marginally better than The Boys, and I love The Boys. Invincible is just a lot better written, like story and character development wise, is much more engaging. Um,
okay,
I will also say because it's animated, the violence is also way more over the top too. you know,
fair.
like The Boys kind of like blows their budget in like the first few episodes of every season, then they kind of like, and then the last few episodes, it's um they they do a lot of gore, but that's limited to like their special effects budget, whereas with animation they can just draw it, you know,
Right.
which is what they're doing. It is, from what I understand, mostly very accurate to the source material. Like some scenes in the show are like shot for shot panels from the comic book that it's based on, Invincible that is. So, um so it makes me really happy to know that too. Yeah, cuz there's a pretty huge fight at the end of season 3 that is brutal. uh, brutal.
All right.
Um yeah, let's just say Negan and Glenn finally get their rematch. Um,
Nice. Nice.
and but season 4 has definitely amped it up. There is one episode in the season that some people are calling filler. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's actually great character development for Mark. We're really reaching this point in his character where he's starting to realize that sometimes he might actually have to kill people in order to save everyone, you know,
Yeah.
and it's doing a lot of things to him emotionally. um and it's really good character development for him and the rest of his family. And Omni Man is kind of
Hmm.
going through a redemption arc in the season too, or as much as someone as him can be redeemed, you know. And they're very real about it too. They're very real about the he's trying hard to make everything right, but he in some situations people just they just won't forgive him. And I mean, why would you for everything? Like, and he's trying to come to terms with the fact that being a good person doesn't automatically mean that your past is erased. Like, you can do better now, but like the things you did, you still did. And those were horrible, horrible genocide level things that he did.
Right.
So it's like he's trying to turn over a new leaf and do right by his family, but that past will forever haunt him. And that's something that he has to come to terms with. That's part of his character arc in this season, and it's so well done, honestly. I fucking love the cast of Invincible too. Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons, Seth Rogen. The girl, Monster Girl, is voiced by the girl who voiced Mandy on The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Um, and then Rex, his voice is in a lot of things. He was Pimento on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I just,
Hmm.
I love that whole cast. And the boys is a great cast and all that too. But like season 4, I haven't started season 5 yet. It just started like this
Hmm.
earlier this week. They put the first 2 episodes out. But like season 4 for me was starting to have diminishing returns by the end, and then season 5 the director has already put a statement out saying not to get your hopes up too much. So that's like not a great sign for me, you know.
Yeah.
um so I just think, honestly, anyone who likes The Boys, if you genuinely enjoy The Boys, this is the final season. Once The Boys is done and you're itching for more of the same, I'm begging you to watch Invincible. I'm telling you, not only is it better, but it is so it is pretty, it will scratch that same itch, trust me. It will scratch that same itch of like hyper violent, like humanizing, realistic, what if superheroes were real, like the fragility of normal humans in this show. They're like basically walking water balloons filled with guts. Honestly, like it is insane the amount of people that Mark is forced to kill by other people's hands as part of you. I'm thinking of the Chicago scene from early in the show.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about. So let's just say there's a scene almost exactly parallel to that in season 3.
All
So
right.
you
Oh
definitely
yeah.
gotta keep, you definitely gotta keep going. Um, so yeah, Invincible is a must watch for fans of the boys. Trust me, everybody out there, you've got to give it a go. Nick, uh, outside of that though, um, I've been like jumping around between games here and there. I decided to play through the Subspace Emissary story mode of Super Smash Bros. Brawl again, just for the hell of it.
Nice.
It's like the best thing they ever did in those games, honestly. Uh, I love a story mode, and I did start playing Yakuza Zero Director's Cut just a little bit. I
Okay.
I got
Okay.
basically to where I left off in because the like the regular Yakuza Zero was free on Game Pass for a while, but it expired before I could
Hmm.
get too far in it. So I basically got to where I left off. So like it's the same level of enjoyment. All I can say is the combat in this game. I can see how this naturally evolved into turn-based combat down the line. Like it already feels like the foundation of turn-based is in there, even
Right.
though it's in real time.
Yeah, it literally just instead of turning into like turn based, it just becomes like a micro arena brawler for like
Yes,
30
yeah,
seconds and then you keep
basically.
going. I personally I personally preferred the arena brawler over the JRPG, but they did kind of fix that in Infinite Wealth when you play far enough. There's essentially a mechanic like in the JRPG style that if you pick like a specific move set, it turns it into an open arena brawler. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
a really cool hybrid between the two. So that's why I personally I like Infinite Wealth more than I like a Dragon.
So
What a story! Yakuza Zero is just such a vibe. It's
Oh, I'm
such a good
excited.
vibe
I'm
too.
excited to play more of it. I left off at the part where he gets a phone call from his bosses and they're like, "We need to talk to you," right after that news report about the guy that he beat the shit out of turning up dead.
Mm,
And it's like I'm like, this is how you hook people right away. Like this is already like a really good story. Like just
it's the best
within
mafia story you'll hear. It is the best mafia story in my opinion.
within the first 15 minutes they have their hooks in you narrative wise already. Like
Oh
which
yeah.
is
Oh
very
yeah.
good
It's
writing.
so good. I'm so
Um
excited. I may just pick it up I may just pick it up and play it again just because you're playing it so you have someone to talk to kind of side by side because it's like it's been a
Don't get
while.
mad at me if
It's
I decide to play the whole thing in English, because I'll be honest,
I won't.
I
No, no, no,
really
no,
like
no. But
Matt
I
Mercer.
just like
Really like Matt Mercer.
I won't. No, I won't get mad at you for that. No, that's ridiculous. I'm gonna razz you about it, of course, but like I'm not gonna be mad at you. Um,
I bet you
no,
if you started it in English and you kept going, it would grow on you eventually. You'd get used to it.
I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would, but
Hey, at least they chose good voice actors for the main cast. I can't
they
say this.
did.
I can't say the same about the NPCs, but at least the main cast is
They
solid.
did. I'm not gonna argue on that. Like they picked a good voice actor. Like I got beef
Um,
with Critical Role, but
really.
yeah, old roommate situation just brings up
Oh,
bad vibes. You know,
I was gonna say because
it just
Critical Role themselves have never done any wrong, and they are behind Dispatch. We have them to thank for
I
that.
know. I listen. I can't argue with that. But anytime I hear Critical Role, it just like it brings me to dark time in my life. Dark time in my
Fair enough. Only other
life.
thing for me, I guess, is that I'm basically done with Life is Strange reunion. I essentially have the epilogue to go through. Listen, I can say with absolute certainty that I can see why the fan base is happy with this one. Besides, it's not just about Chloe's return. The way I chose to play it, because they let you carry over your choices, not carry them over, but they let you make story altering choices before you start the game from the previous ones that will affect how this story plays out. So I started
Okay.
the game where Chloe died in the first game and I saved the town. And also, but her and Max were in a relationship, not just friends. That's how I
Mm.
chose. So in my playthrough of Reunion, we have a Chloe who lived in alternate timeline reality where Max saved her instead of the town, and they lived together on the road for a while, and eventually they broke up and split apart. And that's Chloe's reality. And Max's reality is that Chloe died all those years ago, and Max was on the road by herself. So they both are in this because Max merged the realities in the last game. They're they have what's called Chloe is basically a walking time paradox now. And there's this whole thing going on about whether or not her existence in the first place is causing all these bad things to happen. And you work very closely with your nerdy science friend in the game to try and prevent. I told y'all in the last episode about how this is all about you trying to prevent a fire from happening. You go back in time to stop the school from catching fire.
Yeah.
I so this is probably the highest consequences game in the entire series, quite frankly, because it is entirely possible to stop the fire or not stop it. And it depends entirely on how much you go out of your way to find evidence, like when you're looking around different areas and stuff, interact with everything, piece all it together. And then even after you found everything, they like give you a list of suspects and you still have to kind of piece it together yourself. Like they expect you to do the work in this one. So you have a genuine ass mystery to solve in this game that you can fail. And if you do get it wrong, there will be a fire and people will die, and that is a choice you have to live with at the end of the game. And
All right.
who lives and dies in the fire is also dependent on your choices and whether or not the fire even happens and who actually stops the fire between Max and Chloe because they're both going out doing different types of like intel, in different
Mm-hmm.
locations, each using their like Max using her rewind power and Chloe using her sass talk to, get intel. And like the more intel you get, the more evidence you get, the higher chance you have of getting a good ending. But you can get a fucking depressing ending to this game if you don't play it well, which I think makes it objectively the best game in the entire series because it's not just down to an A or B choice at the end like all the others are, or like the first game was. This one is really like you can have multiple different outcomes and lots of blood on your hands depending on how good or bad you do at the game itself. You know, how much you pay attention to details, how well you are at like figuring out evidence and all that. But yeah, there's so much like crazy shit going on involved around it. Like the reason the fire even starts in the first place, there is a lot of let's say skeletons in that closet. It gets very deep. Um
Okay.
so like I'm Yeah, this one I think is almost a lock in for a top 10 contender for me this year. At least for me. Like, and I will say I've come pretty close to crying during this one. Just like knowing the history of the series and Max and Chloe's relationship and this
Yeah.
there's definitely some existential crisis shit here where Chloe's kind of like coming to terms with the fact that maybe she shouldn't exist. And
Mm-hmm.
that's some heavy shit for someone who's only college age, Um so that kind of stuff I do like, and I guess someone put it differently on another podcast. They kind of put it a good way. They said the thing they like about these games is that all the supernatural stuff is really just a plot device to move the character development forward, and that these games are really more focused on the characters than they are anything else, which I
Mm-hmm.
kind of agree with, and I think is kind of why I like it
Okay.
because they are very character focused narratives,
Yeah.
the bigger overarching plot and all that, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as the interpersonal relationships that are built as the game progresses. Either way, though, the critics have kind of screwed me on this one, but I'm glad. I do take some solace in the fact that the fan base is consistently like 8 or higher on it for the most part.
I mean,
So
I'll be giving an update to To our listeners, next month I'll be giving one. Well, maybe not next month is May. No, it'll be probably around when we do the SGF episode. It'll be yeah. I'm sitting with two giant flaming piles of poop right now, so you know.
But
I'll get my win. I just can't let Nick win. And Nick, if you're listening, my goal is not to win. My goal is for you to lose.
Nick is always listening, and
I know, I know. I love you, buddy.
he listens to every episode, even the ones he's in. So,
I love it.
um, but alrighty then. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Besides work being a stressful nonsense, like
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I say we get to that little bracket thing. All right, so here we are at what is basically this episode's topic. We have this fun bracket thing. If you're watching the video version on YouTube, you can see in real time who wins each round moving forward. Brooksy, would you like to explain what this is and what we're doing here?
Yeah, I will tell you, I am a massive sucker for brackets. I do actually follow college basketball for March Madness, and I think that's what started it. And I just love brackets in general for just a myriad of things. And what better use of it than for video games on this podcast? So essentially, what we have on screen for those that are listening otherwise, we have 32 different RPGs that have come out since the beginning of 2020, since 2020. It is a collection of tactical RPGs, ARPGs, JRPGs, things that we personally believe would classify as an RPG. If there is a game that is not on this list, I apologize in advance. It was a little challenging to make it work. Really, the main kind of things that we wanted to steer away from is anything that was a remaster or a remake of an older game or an enhanced edition. Like there were a lot of things that barely missed the cut. Something like Disco Elysium came out in 2019, and the final cut came out in 2021. So like we didn't go forward with that, or any of the Persona iterations like Persona 3 Reloaded we did not do. But we have a lot of really awesome choices.
To be clear though, there are some from the ground up remakes in here only because they are so different from the original that they're basically an entirely new game. Which is why they're in here. Whereas Persona 3 Reload is technically a from the ground up remake, but it is still the exact same story as its original iteration. There's no changes to that aspect for the most part. So, and we will say, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake is in here, for example, which came out in 2020, I believe. So it just made the cut. And the reason for that is because for all intents and purposes, Final Fantasy VII Remake is basically an alternate dimension sequel. Honestly,
yeah, no, fully agreed on that. But essentially, yeah, we're gonna go through this round of 32, and for each bracket, we're gonna talk about which one we think is the better game and why. We'll come to a consensus and move that one on to the next round. Once we do the round of 32, we'll head to the Sweet 16, then the Elite 8, then the Final 4 before we get into the finals and decide what is the best RPG between Justin and I since the 2020s have officially started.
if
Justin,
if we can't come to a consensus, are we just gonna like flip a coin on some of these?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just like flip a coin, like we'll just do that. I'm totally fine with that for making life easy. Because I feel like there may be a hill I want to die on while you want to die on another on another hill. But Justin, for our listeners, for our non-watchers, should I go ahead and read off the list of 32 real quick?
Yeah, just list them off real quick. And So the way that you're going to hear this from 1 through 32, each pair of two are up against each other to start. So like 1 and 2 are against each other, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. These lineups are purely coincidental. I watched him. He hit the shuffle button twice, and this is what happened. So
Yep. So if we got two juggernauts right off the rip, I'm sorry in advance. Uh, but
it's just that these first two are the most coincidental you could possibly
yeah,
get. So
I laughed really hard when I saw that. I'm like, you know what? It kind of feels fitting, so I'm just gonna leave it. But we've got for our 32 RPGs, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Legends ZA, 100 Line Last Defense Academy, Final Fantasy 16, Dragon's Dogma 2, Avowed, Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Baldur's Gate 3, Neo 3, Dragon Age Veilguard, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Diablo 4, Cyberpunk 2077, The Outer Worlds 2, Sea of Stars, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Horizon Forbidden West, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Expedition 33, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Lies of P, Monster Hunter Wilds, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Starfield, Stellar Blade, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Crimson Desert, and Metaphor ReFantasio. Dude, we have had so many banger RPGs in the past like 5-6 years.
the coin is going to have to determine some of this because I feel like
Yeah.
because of you, Crimson Desert 2 is like an automatic win in every round. So like, or not Crimson Desert 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I mean.
Yeah, it's well, that's the thing. Make your case. Make your case. I want to hear it. I'm open to listening to an opinion or two. I'm fine with that.
But I guess this is the part where we begin then with the first round.
All right, man. Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Legends ZA. I will. Are you okay if I start on this one?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, considering I've only played Arceus between the two, it's kind of an unfair. But like, I know about ZA. I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot of great things. I know Ryan really likes it. I don't know. I think Pokemon, just from what I know of the two of them, Legends Arceus lives up to what I've always wanted Pokemon to be more. ZA is still the same thing, but it's different. It's in a town. So like, so that ZA is about like moving up the ranks of like a competition that's happening, and you still have the Pokemon running around in the wild and all that. But it feels more like the Detective Pikachu movie, from what I understand.
Yeah,
Legends Arceus had this almost kind of more like
it was set at a different time. You had wooden Pokeballs. Like
it's intentionally archaic. But in a way that, like, I always thought with all the Pokemon games I ever played that Pokemon should be a threat to the player directly too. You know, like realistically they should work like wild animals do to us. And I'm glad that Arceus actually does that, you know?
Yeah.
And from what I understand, ZA does that too, but since it's in a city, I have to feel like it does it to a lesser extent. I feel like any Pokemon being let loose in a populated city are probably ones that are tame, you know?
Yeah.
At least that's my look at it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I have not played ZA. I've watched a lot of content about it though. I mean, I will say the thing that I found incredibly frustrating is seeing things like windows on a building that are literally just like a flat texture, no dimension to it. I'm like, that just I'm like, all Pokemon games have screamed some form of laziness to it. That just felt like to the newest level. Arceus is the first one that felt like it was something actually new and actually kind of different.
Yeah,
I gotta go with Arceus on this one for me.
Agreed. All right. We're on the same page with that one.
All right. We got our first one moving forward. Up next, this will be a fun one for you, man. 100 Line Last Defense Academy versus Final Fantasy 16. What are your thoughts on this? This is much more your wheelhouse than my personal wheelhouse.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to say that 100 Line is more original because it is basically because Fire Emblem also does the visual novel tactics combat thing. So that's not
Mhm.
entirely original. Plus, I mean, it's borrowing a lot from its predecessors too, that being Danganronpa and Zero Escape.
Mhm.
Um, but and as much as I love Final Fantasy 16, it is very it is a huge departure from series tradition. Put it that way in terms of the combat. It's basically Devil May Cry with a Final Fantasy skin.
Mhm.
If we're being completely honest, that doesn't make it not good though. It is
Mhm.
literally Game of Thrones with giant kaiju fights and Devil May Cry
Yeah.
combat. It is somehow the least Final Fantasy, yet the most Final Fantasy they ever made at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, it is it is a visual spectacle. It's got a really good story. There's a strong argument to be made for both here. The 100 Line has also a really good story, and like the whole mechanic where after you finish the game once, you go back in time and play it again and make choices that change the future. So, which
Yeah.
is kind of a cool mechanic. Um, I want to give it to 100 Line for originality, but I also know that Final Fantasy 16 is probably the more objectively correct answer because it's a more widely
Yeah.
accessible. It's a more
We're not.
widely accessible game, and like
Yeah.
visually, I mean, overall more impressive.
Yeah, but
um,
we're not going off of objective. This is your taste for you personally. If you had to sit there and choose what was a better RPG to me, what was a more fun game to me,
well,
was
here's the
it
thing. I know
100 line or
you've
Final
played
Fantasy?
you've played the entire 5 hour demo of 100 Line, and you've played some
And
of Final Fantasy 16. So where do you
yeah,
stand?
all right, man. I mean, I listen. I'm a big Godzilla fan. I love kaiju's. I love Devil May Cry. I understand that Final Fantasy 16 is like the least and most Final Fantasy game to have ever existed.
Yeah.
It's truly one of my favorites. It really is.
No, it
I
was
love
in
it.
my top 10 of the year it came out. Like
Yeah, I like it. Tactical RPGs, generally speaking, have never really been my thing. I understand why you personally love Hundred Line Last Defense Academy. For me personally,
honestly, it's not the combat. I like tactics
yeah,
RPGs too, but the further in the game you get, the combat starts getting really hard, like really
yeah,
fucking hard. And I'm glad I'm playing it on story mode. Otherwise, they would wipe the floor with me.
yeah,
It is 100% the story that keeps me going on that one, for sure.
yeah. So for me, there's no question. Like on my end, I personally would go with Final Fantasy 16. That being said, like if you like really think that 100 line is the better choice between the two, like I'm okay with 100 line moving forward. I personally just think that 16 is the better game.
No,
It's the
I
more
think we'll
fun one,
go.
but
We
that's just
will
my taste.
we will go with Final Fantasy 16 on this one. I think if 100 Line was up against anything else like Avowed or something, I probably would have picked it,
Yeah.
but Final Fantasy 16 is just this is not a knock on 100 Line. It was my game of the year last
Yeah, I
year.
was gonna say, like,
So,
I'm surprised that you're cool with Final Fantasy 16 going forward, knowing it was your personal game of the year last year. Are you
I
sure?
just well, to be honest, if let's see. It was my personal game of the year last year, and Final Fantasy 16 made my top 10 the year it came out. I don't remember where it placed. I think it was number 2 or 3. So it would
Hmm.
have been. So honestly, if they had both came out in the same year, they would have kind of been up against each other anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and well,
So
think hypothetically speaking, if you had Final Fantasy 16 100 line in the same year, which one would you have chosen as your number one?
mm,
I want you to
I'm,
have this one.
I'm
This is a Justin round. This is very Justin coded round.
okay. So here's the thing. I probably still would have put hundred line above it in my top 10, but my top 10 is very nuanced in that way. Here, I do think I have to go with Final Fantasy 16 for the sake of this bracket, just because the
All
more I think
right.
about it, the more I think it is actually the better game. And like overall, it's probably more fun. I would say I did have more fun with it. My top 10 lists, I will put something as game of the year because of the story alone. so
Right. But hey, fair. Totally
so
fair. I just
I'm
I wanted you to have the I wanted like even though I know it's just the two of us and we'll flip a coin for some a round like this feels like this is a Justin round if that makes sense. And I wanted you to
yeah,
have the
no,
final say.
you're definitely right, but like I definitely think Final Fantasy 16 is the better game overall,
All
honestly.
right. Let's lock it in. Final Fantasy 16. Next one we've got Dragon's Dogma 2 and Avowed. Both RPGs, both very different RPGs though. Man, I
For
know you're gonna
me,
hate me.
it would
I,
have to be Avowed, just because I like the wide linear setup of
mhm.
that type of game a little more. I'm not as big on the whole, like, the older I get, the less I want to play big wide open sandboxy ass games, you know. One of the
Fair.
reasons I haven't even started Crimson Desert, it's just the size of the map is
That's
already
fair.
intimidating from the get-go.
That you
Um
know what? That's super fair.
and Avowed is a lot more accessible in that way because it's basically different biomes that you're visiting. Like it's got that point A to point B progression with a wide linear aspect, so you feel good doing side quests because you don't have to travel 40 miles to get to them. They're all kind of within
Yeah.
arm's reach, so to speak, you know, because it's still like, you know, it's still a decent sized map in each area, but it's not like holy shit overwhelmingly Skyrim huge, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of and I like that you're visiting different areas because you got like the forest area, you've got like the desert area, and you know they're your typical RPG areas, but it feels like progression. You know, it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
I'm just moving back and forth in the same terrain. It feels like I'm visiting different areas, like old school games, and I like that. Plus,
Yeah.
it's a game. It's a Obsidian game, and I have a soft spot for them. And they're basically Bethesda gameplay with Bioware story and dialogue. And I love the companions in that game. I like the
Yeah.
story. I like the companions. I was genuinely invested in that one, honestly. I haven't played Dragon's Dogma 2. My mom has played both of these games, and it would be an interesting question for her.
Yeah. I will so I've played both. I we've had this conversation. I am someone that like, do I want a story with a game? Of course, but does the story define the game for me? It depends. And for something like Dragon's Dogma 2, it doesn't. Like, like Elden Ring has a deep, rich story. You have to really look for it, though, right?
Yes.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is like that, but even kind of more scaled back, where it's like what you do find is not like anything like world breaking. But it's such a fun game. Oh my God, it's so much fun to play. Avowed, it's for me, it's less fun to play, but I like the world more. I like the world. I like the aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I still had a lot of fun with what I've played of Avowed.
I need to
I had
defend
more
the
fun.
gameplay of Avowed a little bit though, and maybe you just haven't. Well, I mean,
Eh,
it's. I don't want
well,
to say
no, no,
you
no. I
haven't.
mean,
I don't want to say you haven't gotten there because
yeah,
it's there from the get go. But what I like about Avowed is that you're not class locked. You can do literally anything. You can wield any weapon, you can use any magic as long as you have
yeah,
access to it. And you can duel the stuff. You can dual wield two
yeah.
swords. You can have a sword and a pistol, a sword and a shield. You can have a shield and a gun. You can have magic in a gun, a bow and arrow. Like it's all kinds
No,
of
no, no. Like I
I
no, you can
love
and
that. I
you
love
can
that
do
so much.
you can do a lot of that stuff in Dragon's Dogma too. It's a different game. It's a different
Mm.
type of RPG. I'm not dogging on Avowed. I think Avowed is a very good game. At least of what I've played of it, and I've got like maybe 10 hours on my Xbox. Like I don't have an insane amount, but I have enough to like understand the game. And for me, it's like in this round in particular, I'm very much a either or. I'm kind of happy. Like I'm cool with either moving forward. And you've got a very like special place in your heart for Avowed. I was in your top 10 for last year.
I'm glad you're okay
Uh,
with both because I really want to give this one to Avowed, not
yeah,
for bias reasons, but
I
because Dragon's Dogma 2 had a lot of microtransaction controversy, if I remember correctly. And didn't they
oh,
make like
I didn't buy into that at all.
but from what I understand, or at least what I heard on, and maybe it was just people like
Yeah, it very
saying
well could
things
have
for
had
content, but
microtransactions.
I
I
understand there
never
being
I
some items that are pretty crucial to your experience in the game being hard to come by unless you spend real money on them.
yeah, I will tell you, I personally never spent a penny on it. I'm very anti microtransactions, so like if it's there, I never utilize it, and that's including grinding till I wanted to die from playing Shadow of War because they made that game borderline impossible towards the end unless if you spent money, but I didn't. I just grinded, and uh, so I only played probably like 30-ish hours of Dragon's Dogma 2. I didn't get all the way to the end where that may have been a factor for me, but like yeah, again, I enjoyed both of these games quite a bit. I'm happy with either of them moving forward. So with you feeling stronger towards Avowed, we're moving forward with Avowed. That's
This
how
will
it's
probably
going.
be the only round that it wins, so we'll give it something.
It'll be interesting because here's a fun one, and here's one I'm going to be feeling real passionate about. Um, I'm going to be
So
feeling real passionate about.
much like Final Fantasy and 100 Line, I'm going to let you take this one since you're the only one with any experience with both of these games between the two of us.
That's yeah, that's fair. I and here's the thing, like I'm going to be looking at this as just like the game itself. I'm not going to be looking at the controversy because J.K. Rowling is a shitty little turf douchebag. And I hate her face. And I hope that her pillows are warm on both sides every night for the rest of her life. Um, I'm fine.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm fine. Um,
yeah. Fuck
but
that. Her.
yeah, I don't know if you can blur that out on YouTube. Sorry. But what was I gonna say? Like Hogwarts Legacy, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good game. Like if I had scored it, that like a solid 8 out of 10 game.
Oh yeah, for the
Like
listeners, this is Tainted Grail versus Hogwarts Legacy in this one.
oh yes, I apologize. Yes, Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon versus Hogwarts Legacy. But yes, I enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. I also like it. I don't know. It didn't feel like it had enough oomph or soul to it for me for it to feel super memorable outside of the controversy around it. Tainted Grail. I've got like 30 to 40 hours in this game, and I've been intentionally taking it in like little 4 hour long bites. I love this game. I love this game. This game is literally Skyrim Dark Fantasy Edition, Avowed Dark Fantasy Edition. It's got the level of jank that just well, it just works, and it doesn't work at the same time, but in the best way. The world is really interesting. It's an Arthurian world, but it's got like these Celtic monsters to it. It's very dark. It's very gritty. It's got a really fun parry system to it, and like I do not think that it's like a Dark Souls level of parrying to it. Like it feels very forgiving. But it's just there's something about like when you lift like because it's all first person, you lift up your sword and it just like slow mo clings back. It just feels good, and it's just such an interesting world. And it's one of those games that like I'll be working on a quest and I'll like be like, what is that over there? And then I'll just like lose myself for like 2 hours doing who knows what. Um,
Well, I think I
if you
know where
haven't
this is going.
yeah, oh yeah, no, like yeah, let me go ahead just for time saving purposes. We're gonna go ahead and move right forward to Tainted Grail as the winner in this round. If you haven't played it, it's awesome. It's $40. It's so worth it. It's
There,
consistently on sale.
there goes your friendship with Nick.
Yeah, well, sorry, dude. And that's
Oh
again,
God!
this is controversy
Between
aside.
this,
I love
between
you,
this
Nick.
and the top 10 episode, he's gonna hate both of us until dawn.
I
And
know,
now
right?
Hogwarts
Yeah,
Legacy.
I
Like,
know. Sorry, buddy. We do love you though. Like, oh man. Ooh, this will be the so. Kind of moving forward because I know we've been spending some good time on this, and we still have so much ahead of us. We've gotten through a quarter of the list.
No,
Um,
what's good about that is that in the next part, like when we move
it
to the
should
next
move a
rounds,
little faster, but it'll be
we don't have to talk about the game itself again because we already
yeah,
did.
that's fair.
So
You're right.
this next one though, I'm just gonna okay. So this is Elden Ring versus Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is gonna surprise you because I love Final Fantasy and I don't like Souls likes, but this one's going to
Okay,
Elden Ring, and I'll tell you why. Not only is it like an objectively better game, it won Game of the year it came out. I have to respect it for that. But also, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a flawed mess as far as that series goes.
fair.
It is a step backwards from Remake, and there's a lot to love about it. It is, as it has been explained on other podcasts, and as I said a lot last year, a game of very high highs, but also very low lows. The things that it does right, it does phenomenally. The things that it does wrong are extremely fucking annoying. And that includes a lot of the side quests and how every single fucking map you go to in that entire game has just an ass load of this world intel shit that is just this Ubisoft style climb these towers and open more of the map shit, and then other like stuff like that that is just
Yeah,
boring slog garbage that
yeah.
it
I mean,
really ruins the pacing of the game, honestly.
I will tell you on my end, like I have Rebirth. I bought it on sale for like $30 or whatever. I've got like 5 hours of gameplay on it, and yeah, as soon as I came across all these weird mini game things, I was like, I don't think I got time for this. Like, I'm just this is just not capturing my
It
attention
took
enough.
me, and I
It's
will say,
gorgeous,
as
like
annoyed
it
as
is
I
a gorgeous
was,
game.
by it, also being the completionist I am, I did do all the side content in that game. By the time I rolled credits, I had an 85-hour playtime. So
Yeah, and I will for the people that are watching this, just real quick to answer how I personally feel about Elden Ring. Let me just come over here real quick. I am a massive, diehard fan of Elden Ring.
and do you want to explain what that is for the listeners?
Oh, this right here, this is my collector's edition helmet for Shadow of Erdtree, because I don't know if you know this, I am indeed the Elden Lord. With probably 400 hours in the game, I've platinumed it. I beat the DLC on New Game Plus 7. I have such a literally until a certain medieval game came out last year, this was my favorite game of all time. There are so few games that have given me the level of true wonder and love that Elden Ring has. As soon as I saw Elden Ring versus Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I was like, "Whoa, that really sucks for Rebirth." Like, that's a real big bummer.
So
But yeah,
the next one,
yeah,
Baldur's
this little
Baldur's Gate 3 and Neo 3. Wow. Well, Neo 3 just came out. That's
yes, it did. Here's the thing. Like, I've got you have you played either of these? I can't remember if you've played Baldur's Gate or not.
I played the PS Plus trial of it. I haven't played it yet. So this one is all you, but if I had to choose, I would pick Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
That's just my
it's
input.
a for me it's a no brainer. Yeah, like I've played both. I have completed Baldur's Gate 3. I've done the demo, which is actually a very long demo for Neo 3. And then I've probably played like another 10 hours past that point. It is a really fun. We have Elden Ring at home. Yeah, like it's fine. It is enjoyable. I understand why there's such a big cult following to it. But yeah, that's a silly question. It is Baldur's Gate 3, and which is going to bring us to kind of an interesting next round, which is Dragon Age Veilguard and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
So
And
my heart says Veilguard, but I haven't gotten to Like a Dragon yet, and I'm sure when I do, that would probably be my choice. I'm gonna go out on a like Dragon Age Veilguard. The controversy around it was stupid, but as a longtime fan of the series, there were some aspects of it that were kind of
kind of
subdued.
way. Yeah,
The game, I would be lying if I said the game wasn't a little Disneyfied.
yeah.
You
I'll
know,
agree with you on that, but it's still fun.
it
It
is
was
good. It is
I
fun.
like
It's really good. I like it
it
a lot.
is like it was I don't know. It was just like a bowl of comfort soup for me. Like it wasn't too difficult. It was pretty. Yeah, it was Disneyfied, but it was a lot of fun.
But
Yakuza.
I'm gonna let you have this one, having played both of them, and I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be like a dragon, like. Also,
You would be
that's
surprised.
another funny coincidence because Dragon Age Veilguard Yakuza like a dragon.
Like Dragon, yeah. You'd be surprised on this one. I really do like Yakuza Like a Dragon. I do like it a lot. Um, and this is probably just a level of biasness that if you're a fan of the entirety of the series, you'll understand. I am a massive lover of the original kind of brawler stadium style, and when I first started playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, it was such a stark difference for me. Like I know that it can
Mm.
the mechanics of the rest of the game, it makes sense for them to go to this route. But for me, like that fighting, it's so bananas bonkers, like just ridiculous. It was such a selling point to me because it was just so that beat 'em up was just so much fun, and that they stripped it from me, and it felt like a step back for a lot of people, especially newer to the franchise. It felt like a breath of fresh air and a new step forward. I disagreed with that personally speaking. And so this may come as a very big surprise, and this will probably be our first upset of the day. But
Oh
I am
boy.
actually, I'm going. I'm sorry. Woke wins today, folks. Dragon Age
Drake,
Veilguard
Dragon Age
is going
Veilguard.
forward.
Yeah,
Uh,
our first upset in two ways because
that's our first upset. That's a
that's gonna
Cinderella
upset
story in the making.
a lot of people. Like,
It just makes me want to like just like piss everyone off and just let Veilguard win the entire thing.
it's
Like
not going to. It's
it's
not
not
going
going
to.
to. It's not
But
going to. Especially when we're looking at our next round, which our next round is Diablo 4 versus Cyberpunk 2077.
yeah, so
Um
this one's easy as fuck for me, and I've only played like a couple hours of it, but it's definitely Cyberpunk.
yeah,
Diablo,
you're right. You're
this is
right.
gonna
You're
be the
so
most
right. It's
this is gonna
so
be the most
good, dude.
blasphemous thing I've ever said, but Diablo is only fun on consoles because on the PC, it's literally just click, 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 click,
Yep.
click, and it's the most monotonous bullshit I've ever experienced in my life. And
Yep.
I should like it. I do like RPG, dungeon crawler, that stuff. But like when I played Diablo 3 on the PC, I got so bored, but then I played it again on the PS4 and I loved it because I was like, oh, I use the stick to move and square to attack. Now this feels like a game instead of just clicking on a spreadsheet of magic. So, yeah,
Man.
but as far as like overall gameplay and shit goes, Cyberpunk's definitely more my vibe.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like all that
Dude,
story and everything.
I love Cyberpunk. I'm a huge CD Projekt Red glazer, and I'm not ashamed of it either. I This game is incredible. Like I will say I am somebody that had a pre-order for it. I ended up canceling it just from all of the rumors of how not well optimized it was for consoles, and at that point I was only playing on my PS5. And so I held off on it. It literally wasn't until Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix came out. I watched that series, cried a lot, fell in love with the world, immediately hopped into 2077, and I consumed 50 hours of content in like 5 days. Like I didn't sleep. Like I lived in that world, and it's such a fun world. It's truly something special. Like truly something special. Yeah, sorry, Diablo. You're
Yeah,
fine. You're okay. You've always existed. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry. You're kind of whatever.
I'm
And
excited to
I don't like Blizzard.
I'm excited to get through more of it. See, now we're on the second half of the list, and after we get through this, everything else will be a lightning round since we've already talked about them.
Yep,
So it'll be
I agree. And this one I'm gonna be leaving to you because I have not personally played either of these games. I know a fair amount about when this next category is Outer Worlds 2 against Sea of Stars. I know a fair amount about Outer Worlds just from you and I talking. I Sea of Stars is a game that had flown under my radar for so long, and I never really looked into it. But I know that it's really beloved. So yeah, Justin, I want you to take it away on this
I would
one.
call Sea of Stars an indie underdog. I haven't played much of either game, but I would say like Outer Worlds 2, just on the basis of being an Obsidian game, kind of like hooked me for a little bit longer, but I still think Sea of Stars is the better game, especially if we're looking at like
Really?
classic JRPG nostalgia. Yeah, it's like parts Final Fantasy, part Zelda. It's very Chrono Trigger inspired, like heavily
Okay.
Chrono Trigger inspired, especially like the camera angle, the graphics, like the art style. It's an indie darling, and Outer Worlds 2, at least for me, was kind of disappointing compared to the first game, you know?
Okay. All right.
Like it's
Olivia would agree with you on that. She was disappointed by Outer Worlds 2 compared to the first one.
it doesn't have any fangs. The first game had fangs, and they dull their fangs in the second one and take a more middle
Okay.
ground approach, which I don't know. It felt more. The first game had more balls, honestly, with what they
Fair.
were going for.
So we're going with Sea of Stars on this one then, huh?
Yes, we are. And honestly, if I had to guess, I think you would enjoy Sea of Stars more.
Okay. All
It's
right.
definitely like Outer Worlds 2 would probably be way too in the sci-fi camp for your liking,
Yeah.
especially if you haven't played the first one. So,
I no,
I mean,
listen. I
it's
yeah,
basically Fallout meets Mass Effect. So you would like some but not all of it, honestly.
that's fair.
Uh
Um okay. Well, so we're on to our next one. This is one I feel like I don't have an immense amount of skin in the game. And we've got Star Wars Jedi Survivor against Horizon Forbidden West. I
yeah.
personally, I've played a couple hours of Jedi Survivor. It's fun. I enjoy it. I am unashamedly a Star Wars hater, so like it falls in that category for me. And truth be told, I actually have not
But
really.
since it's a Souls like adjacent, you enjoyed the gameplay.
Yeah, I enjoyed the gameplay of it. And truthfully, I actually have not touched Horizon Forbidden West yet.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
actually I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Is that the Horizon games have had a really shitty release time in comparison to other games that are coming out.
Yeah.
And so it took me literally until I've owned a copy of Horizon Zero Dawn for years and years now. I started finally playing it a month ago, and
Oh,
I'm
fair
loving it,
enough.
dude. I'm having the best time, and just like even though it is the original compared to the sequel, um, if I had an option to play Jedi Survivor or Forbidden West, like I personally would go towards Forbidden West, and that's just me personally. And
So
that is being a Star Wars hater aside, I think I was just having a lot more fun, and I think the world in Horizon is just a lot cooler, in my opinion.
so I will say it to you this way. Like obviously no spoilers since you're still playing the first game, but the events of the
Right.
first game definitely lend a lot to aspects of the second game. A
Hmm.
lot of that having to do with a lot of the technology that you discover in the first game and kind of learn
Hmm.
how to use. So, like in the second game, for example, you have a glider that you didn't have in the first one, so you can glide now,
Okay.
and there's other stuff like that. Um, but the second game also has this like I would say Zelda esque progression system where you're going to four different temples and defeating four different bosses to collect four different MacGuffins to
Okay.
save the world, Whereas
Okay.
the first game is a lot more straightforward in its presentation in terms of
Hmm.
narrative and progression. Horizon Forbidden West is a lot more like you have a base, you go out, you do the thing, you come back to your base, and you go out and you go do the other thing, come back to your
Yeah.
base,
Well, I mean, I don't know how far you've gotten into it, but to me that feels like kind of the plus category to me, because like what I think of more recently is like Go to the Viote, where you have options of kind of who you want to go to for the first handful, and it's just like intentionally by your skill tree, other areas are kind of locked out,
It is
um,
very similar to that. Yeah. There's
and
also
and
a lot of
uh,
a great narrative stuff. Like one thing that I haven't finished Forbidden West, but I've gotten very far in it. And one thing
mhm,
that I really like in it, like, is there's this one, I think it was a side quest I did where I basically had to climb up a mountain and convince this guy who was worshiping the sun that
mhm.
he was gonna die if he stayed up there and he needed to come back, like he was being an idiot. It was like they sneak a little bit of social commentary in there in a way that I appreciate,
Okay.
you know. And I don't want to spoil all of that, but it was like very like Aloy was being the logical one, and he was being very
Yeah.
like, no, it's the sun god and all that. And she's like, no, there is no sun god. It's just a robot that crashed. Like you know,
Nice.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's just so
Okay.
I do like that, and I do like Ashley Birch's performance. She definitely like nails the witty sarcasm. As her fun fact, she also
Mhm.
plays Chloe in the Life is Strange games, so that's like perfect casting. Um, and she was Mel in Last of Us Part Two. Um,
Okay.
now Star Wars Jedi Survivor has a lot good about it too, though. Like the gameplay is phenomenal, like you said. They do the Metroidvania Souls-like thing, you know, and all that. I do think it is a small step back from Jedi Fallen Order, though. I do think Fallen Order is
Mhm.
better, but it's still good. But oh man, the more I talk about it, the more I think I might have to give this one to Horizon. Honestly.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not opposed to it. I think I've said my personal piece on it. Like if I had to choose, like which one would I rather personally play, I'd go to West. So we're going with Horizon Forbidden West,
Well,
and
plus you
once
have
again,
the
hmm.
anti the anti Star Wars bias anyways, but
Well, I again, I tried my best to keep that separate. I just like
yeah.
if I think about what I have played of Survivor and what I have played of Dawn, which I understand is a different game, but usually sequels improve upon gameplay aspect, which is what's more important to me personally. Um, I yeah, it feels like the right move. And for those that are upset, I'm so sorry. Moving forward, though, our next round we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And I know there are probably going to be people that are watching this that are like, "Well, Tears of the Kingdom isn't an RPG." One, not your list; it's ours. And two, um, for me,
It kind of is.
Tears of the Kingdom screams a survival RPG to me
Yeah,
personally.
doesn't
Like,
Tears of the Kingdom have the thing where you can like build weird contraptions out of scraps and
yes,
stuff? Like
yes,
yeah,
like,
so
and yeah, I just
like yeah,
it
that was
is
a big meme.
yeah, it is to me. It is an RPG. Um, I
And yeah, every Assassin's Creed game since Origins is also an RPG by definition. Like that was their
yeah,
whole
exactly.
switcheroo.
I you know I I'm curious about you, Justin, because you've played throughout the Assassin's Creed franchise. I know you've played Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild. Where do these sit for you?
Oh no, I actually haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, and I've played some of
Oh,
Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild
okay.
is the survival aspects make it hard for me to get into. If I'm being
Hmm.
honest, the breakable weapons and shit like that is not
Yeah.
my vibe. But the Assassin's Creed games, the thing about them is that I was all in on the RPG switch with Origins, but starting with Odyssey and moving forward, I have found them harder and harder to get into and
Enjoy. Yeah.
finish. Like they have these phenomenal openings, like really good openings, but then once you get to the proper open world, it just becomes
Just
this
becomes poop.
overwhelming mess of icons and repetitive gameplay elements, and it's just like someone vomited icons
Yeah.
all over the map. There's just too much to do. It's
Yeah. It's
you know,
unnecessary bloat. It's
it's too big.
unnecessary bloat.
They're too big and they're too long. That being said, Valhalla is really good if you love Vikings and Norse mythology. They tie the Isu into the Aesir in that stuff so that they're able to bring in mythology without breaking continuity. So you end up having things like Eivor being like they started bringing something into Assassin's Creed lore later where there are sages and there are people that basically are reincarnations of the ancient gods. And they bring that into Valhalla where Eivor is a reincarnation of Odin, Basim is a reincarnation of Loki, and stuff like that. Um, and so they bring that in without breaking continuity because it's part of the whole ancient race stuff from the original games, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so that stuff is cool, but it's and like the Viking stuff where you're like raiding and pillaging the villages and stuff. It's all
Yeah.
really cool shit. But there's just so much like stuff like this, like having the base that you're like upgrading and all that, and like the going out and fighting like hunting animals and stuff. There's too much survival shit in these big world RPGs for me. You know, like it's
Yeah.
I wish it was a more focused experience. So these are both hard picks for me, honestly. Um like even though I objectively like Assassin's Creed more, I feel like I have to beeline the narrative in these newer games in order to fully enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much, like you said, runtime padding nonsense.
Yeah.
Um, Tears of the Kingdom, I think I would agree with giving it to that just because not only was it up for Game of the Year when it came out, but it does do something unique and creative with the whole contraptions nonsense. And
Yeah.
it gives you a lot of player freedom and stuff. And I do think that makes it a better game overall.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like I used to be the biggest diehard Assassin's Creed fan, and
Same.
It was Odyssey that was the turn for me. And I
Exactly.
beat.
Same here.
Yeah, like I beat Odyssey, and Odyssey is the last Assassin's Creed game I have actually beaten. And
I will
like
say Mirage was a really good return to form. That one,
I did hear that.
one is, yeah.
I should give that one a chance, but I also like after Ubisoft said that we're making quadruple A games and that the CEO said that you need that video game players need to get comfortable with not owning the video games.
Yeah, some shitty shit.
Big F you to Ubisoft. Like eat shit, dude.
You could probably get a used copy of Mirage for pennies now, though. Honestly,
yeah, I honestly, and that's probably the route that I'll go.
Because that one is basically Assassin's Creed 1 again with all the quality of life upgrades of the newer ones.
Yeah.
It's like if Assassin's Creed 1 was an RPG.
Yeah. So for me, like I only have like 10 hours into Tears of the Kingdom. I did play through all of Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom is pretty much more of the same, but you can do Fortnite builds. And,
Yeah.
like it's pretty sick. It is pretty sick. It's such a massive game. I love RPGs, but I usually can only like really dive into like 2, maybe 3 for an entire year just because of how time consuming they are. And I haven't come back to Tears of the Kingdom. But if somebody came to me and, gun to my head said, Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it is Tears of the Kingdom all day. And I don't have to even think twice about it. And it sucks because like it's how the mighty have fallen for Assassin's Creed. Like if I miss the days of Revelations and 2 and man, I'll even take Black Flag.
I love that you pick. You said I'll even take Black Flag. He picks one of the most popular games in the series.
Listen, IGN. I'll take an IGN quote. Too much water, dude. It's just so much boat.
I'm
it's
not
so
big,
much boat.
God, you and I have literally the exact same opinions on Assassin's Creed because I'm not big on the water stuff, like the ship stuff.
Yeah,
either. I like pirates, but the naval combat is fucking tedious.
And I'm sorry, like islands just doesn't make sense for an Assassin's Creed game where, especially at that point, when like the whole thing was like scaling things as quickly as you could and like intricate
Yeah.
towns and
Oh
cities,
no,
and then
yeah. The
now
parkour the
I'm
parkour took a back seat starting with Assassin's Creed
yeah,
3.
now
Like
I'm trying to swim through coconuts on a palm tree, and I'm like,
and
dude, this is stupid.
they pretty much fucked the modern day story the second they killed off Desmond. Like everything went
Yep.
downhill after that.
Man, I here's the thing. Hot take for a lot of Assassin's Creed fans. Origins is one of the best games they've ever come out with. Like it
Yeah, no,
is like it's
Origins was
so
actually
good.
Origins made me be on board with the RPG shift, but then they started going
Yeah.
downhill with Odyssey from there. Like they took the
I
wrong lessons from it.
it gave me a lot of hope for the franchise. It was such a breath of fresh air that felt right and it made sense. And then they pooped all over it. And like, what the heck? What do I do? Like, what do I do?
And it's just been
So
diminishing returns ever since.
yep,
That being
yep.
said, though, I am excited for the Assassin's Creed game that's supposed to be during the Salem witch trials, Hexay or whatever they're calling it.
yeah, I think that'll be really cool too.
I think they said that
Um,
one's gonna be a more like subdued experience, like Mirage. Like they said, going
oh,
forward, they want to start doing like they want to start doing
tighter,
like one of
less
each. Like
bloated.
they said they're gonna start doing both moving forward. They're gonna have their big RPG games and then their smaller, more focused games
I
like
would prefer the
Mirage.
smaller, more focused. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad
But
we're getting both at least.
yep. Speaking of diminishing returns, we also have for our next round Claire Obscure Expedition 33 against Assassin's Creed Shadows.
All right. Expedition 33, no discussion. Everything I just said about Valhalla also applies to Shadows, and we've glazed Expedition 33 enough on this show. We don't need to talk about it again. It
Yep.
is
I am
last
going to
year's
be.
Game of the Year winner, not for both of us, but the official one.
Yep.
It basically swept the Game Awards. There's no question. People know about it by now. And here's the
Yep.
thing: Assassin's Creed Shadows, like I said, everything applies. Beginning of that game, fucking phenomenal. It rivals Ghost of Yotei in the beginning. It's basically a Tarantino movie for like the first 5 hours. Then you hit the open world proper, straight down from there.
Yep.
So, like,
Here's the thing, and one thing I do want to make clear, because I know, especially from last episode, I have real big feelings and thoughts and opinions about generative AI. I am not looking at anything on here related to controversy. Like, if I'm able to talk fluently about something like Hogwarts Legacy, again, Nick, I'm sorry.
yeah.
But I'm not looking at things related to controversy. I'm looking at gameplay, mechanics, narrative, story, like that. Those are the things that I'm looking at when I'm thinking of what is the best RPG to me. And yeah, it just like I haven't even played Shadows. So just by default it was Expedition 33, but there's not much that's gonna be able to oust that. But moving on to our next round, we've got and this will probably be more of a me round, but we've got Lies of P versus Monster Hunter Wilds. Have you played either of these?
I have not. The Monster Hunter games are. I want to get into them, but like there's this. It's just the gameplay setup. I don't know if it's exactly because it seems like. I know that there's a story there, but it seems like the experience is based almost entirely on this like mission-based system where you go
Yeah.
out, kill monster, gather items, make better weapon, kill stronger monster, gather items, make more better weapon, kill more stronger monster, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
exactly like it's basically like a God Eater or there's a couple of other games like that out there.
No, I
And Lies of P is a Souls like. So like
yeah, that's fair.
you
Now,
know,
to be fair, I do think, because I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass, I'd still recommend trying out Lies of P because there is the big thing is that they actually have a difficulty setting set up for Lies of P.
I
where
do
you
know
can
about
set it
that.
up.
And I
Yeah,
have
you can
been
set it up
interested
for
in trying
like for story mode. There is like there is an actual easy mode that's in this. I've played both. I've got probably 10 hours into Wilds. I've got like 40 hours into Lies of P.
Monster Hunter Wilds just feels like an anime version of those survival games,
It
like
is.
where you're
like
building
like Ark and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it pretty much is. It literally is. It's the first Monster Hunter game that I've played. I don't think it's for me personally. I wish it was. It feels like it would very much be my thing, and I
I
don't
know
know.
Ryan loves them. I know
I
Ryan
know,
loves them.
and that's the thing. Like and usually Ryan and I are pretty on point with like our taste in games. I don't know what it is about the Monster Hunter series that like just hasn't captured my attention, but it's just eh. Liza P though, I will say there are
For me,
some.
for me, I think it's not enough narrative drive. I think it's just like
That's fair.
it's such a
I don't.
repetitive
Yeah.
gameplay loop. Like
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, I look at something like Dragon's Dogma 2. There is no story in that game, but like, I had way more fun with that than I did in Monster Hunter Wilds. Um, but Liza P, there are so many different groups that are trying to make the next Souls-like game, the next From Software-esque styled game. Liza P is the first one that actually felt like they did new things that made sense and were a lot of fun. And the bosses are really cool in this like London industrial horror esque kind of puppet Geppetto world. It's so cool. It is such an interesting world. I actually enjoy the story a lot to it. It's probably my favorite Souls like game that is not a From Software game. I like it more than Black Myth Wukong. It's just dude, it's a really good game. It is a really good game. It's no question for me.
Liza P will
It's
take
definitely
that one.
Liza's P is going to take that one. But this one's going to be this next round's going to be much more you coded. We've got Final Fantasy VII remake and Starfield. Take it away, Justin.
I haven't played Starfield since the updates. I played it when it first came out, and it felt very dry.
Bethesda.
Yeah, very Bethesda. But I guess dry and Bethesda do go kind of hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah.
It,
I do love Bethesda, but they are dry games, but I still love them.
yeah, I'm glad you understand what I mean by that because, like,
Yeah.
speaking on Final Fantasy, there's actually one Final Fantasy game a lot of people like that I don't, and it's because it feels too dry. Can you guess which one it is?
Wait, you said a
It,
Bethesda game that's not too
no,
dry?
no. There is a Final Fantasy game that I consider dry. I don't like it because it feels too dry, but a lot of other people, it's one of the more popular ones.
Is it old or new?
It is in the PS1 era.
Oh God. This is 8?
It is 8.
Okay. I'm like, I was like, it's not 7, and 9 feels like that's PS2 era.
No,
Yeah, it
no,
had to have been 8.
9 was gonna be a PS2 game, but it was a PS1 game, and 9 is the exact opposite of dry. That is the most
Right,
cartoony entry in the whole
that one
series.
didn't
Yeah.
feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, 8 definitely has a very bland, dry, colored pencil
Yeah.
feeling to it, and I don't know, yeah, dry is, I guess, the word for a lot of Bethesda games. Skyrim is the only one that ever really grabbed me. I've tried all the Fallouts, I've tried Starfield, I've tried
Even
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Yeah, even
Really?
Oblivion.
Oh, dude, Oblivion is legitimately like that. I think that was the game that made me realize at such a young spry age. I was like, I think RPGs are my genre. Like that is like I love so many different genres.
The thing is, though, I tried.
but
My problem is I was never able to get to it when it first came out. I tried to play
mhm.
Oblivion after playing Skyrim, and it felt like a step back. Like I couldn't.
Okay, see, and that's the thing. Like
And
I
like
had a
the whole thing where like
PlayStation.
you have to sleep to save really irritated me.
Yeah,
To
I had a PlayStation and my brother had an Xbox, and like so sometimes he and I would trade. And that was him having Oblivion. That's what introduced that world to me. And dude, it's just so good. It's just so good, dude.
that being
But
said, Final
mhm.
Fantasy VII remake is far superior to Rebirth, and it did so many things right. I think the way that it took advantage of extending the runtime and just like fully fleshing out Midgard, which was the first 5 hours of the original game, stretched into a 40-hour game here, really gave you time to care about characters like Biggs and Wedge and Jesse and all that. Like it fleshed them out, it developed them, and I think all of the stuff they add in remakes in Final Fantasy VII Remake specifically serves to enhance the experience, whereas in Rebirth it just serves to pad the runtime. So 7 Remake it is for this one for me because that was a strong start to the series, and it's not the first game's fault that the second one didn't deliver on the promises it set up.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
first game isn't less good in hindsight because the second one wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right.
Uh, I don't think I don't. We don't even need to talk about this next one. It's Stellar Blade
No.
versus KCD2. It's
No, we need
obviously
to.
going. It's obviously going to KCD2. Like there's.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%. I'm not giving it to.
Oh
I'm not
man,
giving it
yeah.
to Stellar Blade.
We're not giving
Anyways,
it to the Gooner game. Yeah, it's KCD2. We're just gonna move right on past.
look. Even even
Uh,
even setting that aside, at the end of the day, it's just a Souls-like mimicry of Near Automata. At
yeah,
the
you're
it
not
is.
you're not wrong. I've only played the demo of it, and I'll never forget playing that demo. And I'm like halfway through, and Sam walks in the room, and she's like, "What are you playing?" I was like, "Oh God, it's not
No,
what it looks like. I swear. Like I'm just
no. If
trying the
you
demo. I'm
no,
just trying the demo."
I'm gonna put this hot take out there. People don't play Stellar Blade. Play Near Automata instead. It's far superior.
Yeah,
like
yeah, I'd agree. Just from watching gameplay, at least. I've only played the demo of Stellar, but yeah. So we're on our last round of the round of 32, and this one is uh, our newest entry, Crimson Desert, against a Powerhouse nominated for Best RPG 2 years ago, Metaphor Refantasio.
Well, I'm by default. I'm gonna have to give it to Metaphor Refantasio.
You know
Uh,
what?
that's my. I mean, it's basically a Persona game, but in a fantasy setting instead of modern Japan, and
Yeah.
it is like it's got a really cool like meta like commentary thing going on.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, Crimson Desert is just like from all the good and bad I've heard about it. It just seems to be uh, a spiking mess in terms of like quality. Like there's
Yeah.
like so many things good about it, but also so many things bad. But Metaphor. I didn't hear a lot of discerning opinions on that one. It was up for game of the year. Like it says a lot. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's my pick, anyways. Like I
I
know
mean,
you.
yeah, I'm probably the one that's going to have more skin in this game because I've played both. I've played a fair amount of both. AI aside, um, I really like Crimson Desert a lot, and if it wasn't for the AI, I'd probably be one of the biggest Crimson Desert glazers out there. I probably have 80 hours of gameplay in it by now. Um, And so I have to really just kind of go off of like the 8 hours I currently have in it, and 2 hours on the PS5. Metaphor Refantasio, I have more fun playing Crimson Desert than I do have playing Metaphor Refantasio. I think that the world in Crimson Desert is not as cool as Metaphors, but there's just more stuff naturally just by default. Um, but Metaphor Refantasio, we're out here eating the bourgeoisie. And so we're going to be going with Metaphor Refantasio. I
Okay.
do really enjoy it. I really do enjoy Metaphor Refantasio. I think it is a wonderful story. I think it is the smoothest and most intricate version of the fighting mechanics. I really like the parry system with it. Like it is just it made it's like it's almost like Metaphor Refantasio, like the way that the turn based mechanics works. It's like that crawled so Expedition 33 could run, um,
And
and
it's the bridge gap between Persona and Expedition.
it really is. And it's just it rips. It really does. Like I have a lot of high praise to give Crimson Desert. I have a few stinkers AI aside that I have for it. There are so many more pros than weigh out the cons for Metaphor. So
All right.
that solidifies
Now
us. We're in the Sweet 16.
now for the lightning rounds cuz we're basically rehashing everything from the beginning.
Yep.
So our first next bet, so Pokemon Legends Arceus and Final Fantasy 16 both moved forward. This is a hard one. um
I will, for me personally, um I'm sorry. I love Pokemon, but I'm going Final Fantasy 16. I love these kaiju fights, and I just love. I'm a hack and slash Devil May Cry fanboy through and through, and so it took an IP that I love, and took the mechanics of another IP I love, and made this baby, and it's awesome. And I just like I'm personally on Team Final Fantasy 16.
These are heavy hitters, strong contenders, but I'm gonna give it to you. Honestly, we'll go 16 on that one. There's a strong
All
argument for
right.
both of them, but I think like, and I definitely lean more Final Fantasy anyways. So
Yep. I love it. All right, so this is where I think we're actually going to have our very first coin toss because
Avowed versus Tainted Grail.
Avowed versus Tainted Grail, because they are essentially the same thing, but different fonts. Like they are so close to each other,
Yeah.
but they're just different atmospheres and vibes, and it's just like it's almost like a pick your flavor between the two. If you like the more whimsy and the bright color, you go for Avowed. If you like that dark and gritty, you go for Tainted Grail. I've played both of them. I've got 10 hours in Avowed. I've got 30 hours ish, somewhere around there, in Tainted Grail. For me personally, it's Tainted Grail, and I know for a fact for you personally, it's gonna be Avowed. I think this is probably gonna be our first coin toss, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
I'm flipping a dime because I lost my penny, but
You're fine.
it's a coin either way. So heads for Avowed, tails for Tainted Grail is what we'll go with. I'm gonna do the thing where I catch it and then like flip it over onto my other hand
Yeah,
and
totally
look at
fine.
it.
And we are going honor code. I
Oh,
trust you.
you know what? A penny's not, or a dime's not gonna work. It's too bouncy. Let me go grab an actual penny. I have plenty of them laying around somewhere. All right, so I am going to actually flip a quarter because it's bigger and heavier and easier to see on camera and harder to lose.
Excellent. Excellent.
So okay, heads for Avowed, tails for Tainted Grail. It is tails.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You get
I
this
would
one.
con- I would consider this would be considered as an upset because I feel like there are a lot more people that have played and know Avowed and appreciate Avowed than Tainted Grail. Um,
Probably.
but man, Tainted Grail is just it got the sauce. Man, I'm so sorry. Let's see.
Avowed unfortunately also had the displeasure of being lambasted by the anti-woke grifters.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I feel bad for doing this,
No, it's
but we
okay.
must.
It is how the game plays. Okay, now this
Oh,
is going to be a real hard one for you, I think. Elden Ring versus Baldur's Gate 3.
I don't
I
even have.
will I will let you take that.
Are you sure you want me to take this one?
Oh, 100%. I have no dog in
Uh,
this fight.
okay, well, I've played both through and through from beginning to end. Baldur's Gate 3 is such an incredible masterpiece, but Elden Ring is a generational game, and that
Yeah, I
is
figured we were going that route.
that's all that needs to be said about it. I could go on for hours and hours and hours about the lands between, but it is, for me personally, irrevocably Elden Ring.
Sounds like somebody needs to do a retrospective video on Elden Ring.
I would do it. I would, man. I'll spend hours talking about that. But we're gonna move on to our next Sweet 16, and this just feels rude. We've got we got Dragon Age Veilguard against Cyberpunk 2077. Justin, I want to hear your thoughts because you've played and beaten Veilguard,
And
but
I
you're only
platinum
a
it.
few hours. And you platinum it. You're only a few hours into Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm
I still feel like I have to give this one to Cyberpunk either way. I can just tell from the beginning that it's a better game overall,
yeah.
you know.
Dude,
Um
it's so special. It really is. It's
I love
so
everything about Veilguard, but like what mostly everything about it, but it's Cyberpunk is definitely the right answer here.
yeah. I would agree with you entirely on that. Moving along to our next round, we have again another one I personally don't have a dog in. You have more in Sea of Stars and Horizon Forbidden West.
Uh, it's gonna be Horizon here. Sea of Stars got its time
Yeah,
in the limelight, but I think Horizon has more to offer overall.
that's fair.
But Sea of Stars got. I mean, it made a round, so the underdog got a little attention.
Yeah, I listen. I'll agree with you on that, man. And then our next one is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom and Expedition 33. And what's so funny
Expedition
about
33 by a country mile. Like,
yeah,
I'm
what's
not
funny
even
is
gonna
like
argue it. Like,
there are Nintendo Glazers out there that would be screaming at us right now if they could, but they can't. So we're going forward. Expedition 33. Ooh, this next one's fun.
this might be a coin flip too. We'll see how you feel, but my vote goes to Final Fantasy VII Remake versus Lies of P. I would have to
Here's a
go. I would have to go
here's the
7
thing.
Remake personally.
I am a person of fairness, and I will personally say that Lies of P, to me, between the two, is the better game. However, I did stomp on Avowed's flowers, um, and I wanna. It's like Thanos got it right. It's all about balance. So we are gonna move forward with Final Fantasy VII remake ahead of Lies of P for this round.
Okay, because this next one is definitely a coin flip, and one of us is about to be very upset.
Oh man, yeah, you right though. Yeah, we got to flip a coin on this one. I'm about to be so mad because if it was up to me, this would take it all the way to the end.
I know.
All the way to the end. It'd come down to
Kingdom.
Elden Ring and KCD2 if it was up to me.
So this
And
is
then we'd have to end the episode.
it would. Because you wouldn't be able to pick between them.
Yeah, I would just say, oh, and the winner is, and that would just be the end of the episode.
Sopranos style. Got it. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 versus Metaphor ReFantazio. Obviously, he's going to choose KCD2. I'm going to choose Metaphor. This is going to be a coin flip. Heads for KCD2, tails for Metaphor. It's heads.
Is it KCD2?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh my god.
Damn, you've won both coin flips so far. And it's literally a 50-50 odd. So, like, the odds are in your favor.
Oh, I'm so sorry for Metaphor. Metaphor is a fantastic game. I am not going to deny that. There is and KCD2. I'm sorry. It is the ultimate RPG. It is RPG, the RPG. Like it is.
Oh, we get it. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, we
okay.
know.
Oh, my sweet summer child, move forward. We have reached the Elite Eight. Nothing but coin tosses from here. Because round one,
Final Fantasy 16
Fantasy
versus
16.
Tainted Grail. Are you really choosing Tainted Grail over Final Fantasy 16 here? I mean, I'm going to go Final Fantasy on this one. But
I know. Fuck.
Oh, boy. I mean,
Here's the
you
thing.
you have won every coin flip so far. Let's see how much are you willing to gamble,
I'm not willing to let it ride. For me personally, my heart does say Tainted Grail, and I want to make it known on the record. My heart is saying Tainted Grail, but I fully understand the argument, and I can appreciate and respect the argument, which is why Final Fantasy 16 is going to be heading into the final four. Unfortunately, taking out Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon.
Oh god, Elden Ring versus Cyberpunk. This one might be a coin flip.
Here's the thing. I love both games. I'm gonna be happy either way with them moving forward. But I'll be damned if I don't say Elden Ring. I'll be damned if I don't say Elden Ring.
You know what though? Maybe not a coin flip. I think I'm gonna let you have this one because I do think if we're arguing, like, I know this is all subjective, but I do think Elden Ring is the better game just based on the fact that it didn't release broken. Like there is
No, it did not.
Cyberpunk had a redemption. Cyberpunk took a long time to get good. It's good
Yeah,
now, but it wasn't at first.
no, and
Elden Ring has been
like,
like it hit the
yeah,
ground running, you know.
yeah, it did. Now there were some bugs like and some unbalanced things, and I just want to make sure anybody that's listening right now, I did beat Radon pre-patch without a summon, so like you know,
I
but like
I don't know what any of that means.
it, dude, he was so hard. But yeah, I am so thrilled to see Elden Ring come into the final four. And it brings us to our next one. And boy, howdy, the little train that could. Horizon Forbidden West against Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
All right. Well, it's been a good run, Horizon. You made it very far, but there's no
You did
reality
so
where
good.
there's no reality
No,
where any Horizon game beats Expedition. I'm
no,
sorry, in the RPG category.
there's not. There's not. There's not. I'm so sorry. And now we're back
Fucking
to my
hell.
sweet.
Final
To my
Fantasy
sweet.
VII Remake versus KCD2.
Just get the fucking coin ready, bro. Like, just get it ready. Like,
You know what
I'm
though?
not.
I could play this very strategically and just let you have KCD2 so that it's up against Elden Ring in the end because I feel like that's where it's going anyway.
Fuck.
That's really like I almost kind of want to see that happen. But Final Fantasy VII Remake is a very good remake of a very popular game. There's a strong argument for both of these here. Really strong. But
So,
as you keep
listen,
saying, KCD2 is the RPG of all time. Like the
yeah, I'll die on that hill. I will die on that hill. I will. If you want to flip
it's
a coin, I'll flip a coin. But I know where my heart lands.
he said it's the most RPG of all the RPGs. You know what though? We're gonna push KCD2 forward because I want to see you struggle putting it up against Expedition and Elden Ring. So I like
I know, man.
I
Dude.
would. So as much as my heart screams Final Fantasy, we're gonna give it to Expedition, or we're gonna give it to KCD2 here, especially because 16 is still in the running.
Yeah, yeah, because we got 16 and we got Elden Ring.
So these are the last two rounds. We have Final Fantasy 16
Yeah,
versus Elden Ring and Expedition 33
this is
versus
the
Kingdom
final
Come
four.
Deliverance 2.
Holy crap, we're here, man. Oh man, this was fun and now it's stressful. Uh,
So
I,
this is another one where even though my heart says Final Fantasy, I kind of have to agree with Elden Ring being just like the more overall RPG. Like let's be honest, Final
yeah,
Fantasy 16 is actually in compared to everything else on this list actually a bit lacking in the actual RPG elements. It's definitely
yeah,
more of
and
an
more on the
action game.
action side of
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I'd agree
So
with you on that. All right, then we're moving forward with Elden Ring in the finals,
okay,
and
this one is probably going to have to be a coin flip because it's
this
Expedition
is gonna have
33
to be a coin
versus
flip.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I feel like even you can't decide for your like if it was just you you'd have to flip a coin.
Man, here's the thing, and again, we're looking at AI aside. If you like, gun to my head, like had to say, like you have to choose one of these two games, and whichever one you don't choose, it vanishes off the face of the earth forever, right? Um, it's still for me personally, my taste and my love. It still is KCD2. Like it
Yeah,
really,
I know.
I really
Well,
mean that. Like
both the games were in your top 10 last year and this one beat that
they
the other one.
were
So that's
they were
obvious, you
they
know.
were they were 1 and 2. They were
Yeah.
literally 1 and 2. Like Expedition 33 is a generational game. KCD2 is a life game for me. Like that is something that I am gonna hold to me forever. I have like 600 hours in this game, dude. Like I
Whew.
love KCD2
All right, so
so
this is a
much.
rough one. It's going to be heads for Expedition 33, tails for KCD2 on this. Oh boy.
Ah. Tails.
It's heads. Ugh.
Oh,
It is heads. I'm sorry.
number one in my heart. but it just makes it easier for me to know who my number one is for me in this bracket moving forward.
Oh, but
And
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 made it so far, and realistically,
it did.
it should beat Expedition 33, but we left this one up to fate.
We did. We did. And it is moving past, and we are down to our finals. And we have Elden Ring against Expedition 33.
Oh boy.
And for me personally, I'm going with the one, the only Elden Ring as my choice.
See,
and I have to assume for you.
If I'm being completely honest, neither one of these is what I would have wanted to end up in this category. So, I mean, but I'm a little biased. I would have, fucking loved, Final Fantasy VII Remake to make it here, but I let you have that. I had let you have that because I just wanted to see how far KCD2 could go.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I appreciate you taking one for the team to see if KCD2 can make it all the way. It didn't, unfortunately. But do you want to formally crown Expedition 33 or Elden Ring, or do you want to flip a coin to see if it's going to be Elden Ring or Expedition 33?
Here's the thing. I feel both that like just conceding to Elden Ring is like I don't know, like not enough pizzazz for the final round, but also flipping a coin also feels very flat in that too.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's no other choice since I'm not a big Souls person, although I know Elden Ring is probably the more I don't know actually which of these is more widely popular. They both kind of shot up. I do feel like I saw more about Expedition 33 all over the place though, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's just my algorithms.
For those that are listening, there's a snake on top of this helmet that I have from Elden Ring, and I'm petting the little snake's head.
Oh boy. Hmm. You know what? When I think about it and I think about everything I know, I mean, having finished Expedition 33 and everything I know about Elden Ring and all that, I would say I do think Elden Ring might deserve this win a bit more, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I'm willing to give it to it.
We're locking it in.
And somehow I'm not fucking surprised that this happened either. I think we could have like shuffled the list 20 times and Elden Ring still would have made it in the top 4. On it like
Well, I won't be able to hear you for about 30 seconds, but we got to celebrate, right?
the helmet.
And yes, you can wear this helmet.
I mean, what would be the point if you couldn't?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well. Look where we've gotten ourselves to.
Oh, that's awesome. For those that are just listening, he put the helmet on and it's like I don't even know how to put it into words. This is the kind of shit you have to see for yourself.
Oh man. Oh yeah. And that right there, for those that are watching, is my 5-year anniversary gift from my wife. A wearable helmet from Elden Ring, and I love it so much.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we decided through that bracket and debating that Elden Ring is the top RPG of the 2020s.
So far.
So far. Yes. So far. The 2020s and the current gaming generation, conveniently enough, since the new systems came out on a year that ends in a 10, which makes it like really easy to categorize.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
that was a lot of fun. I'm very sorry about the upset from Tainted Grail. I gotta get you Tainted Grail. The next time it's on sale, I gotta get you a copy or something because like it's
yeah, you don't. My mom bought it, so I have access to it. I can play it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my god. Um,
I do plan on playing it eventually.
if you like dark and gritty, and if you like Avowed, you'll love this game. This is a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this with me, man. It was again, I'm a sucker for a good bracket, and I'm a sucker for RPGs, and I'm a sucker for doing this podcast with you. So this is a lot of fun for me.
Oh no, it was fun. I enjoyed this. This was a good idea.
Yeah.
But so for those of you who are watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video version this time around. Let us know how it turned out, what you thought. And in the comments down below, remember to smash that like button. And then also over on Spotify, you can leave a comment. On Apple, you can leave a rating. You can find me at all of the things at Oversoul53, Oversoul Gaming, or email me at podcastoversoul@gmail.com. And you can find Brooksy at Brooksy My Boy on Instagram and TikTok. And once again, thank you all so much for listening, and we will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Later.